microphone, and especially to talk about this topic of the food ministry, because I could probably fill the whole service, but I know you have other plans. This is a topic I am going to try to hit the high points, but I would just encourage you at some point after our service, if you have questions or if anything I say sparks a question in your mind or a thought in your mind, an idea, to please reach out to me. Because like I said, I'm going to hit the highlights, and this is something that we could talk about for at least an hour. But I want to talk about the food ministry that we have going on here at Stewartstown United Methodist Church. It's not a new ministry. I'm going to start with that. The food ministry actually started about 4 years ago. Sandy Petrovich, through children's ministry, she developed a relationship with Stewartstown Elementary School, and we had the backpack program. That was done in conjunction with the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank, and how that worked is every week there were students. I think we had upwards of 30 students at some times. A backpack was packed here at the church. They were delivered, one backpack per student was sent to the elementary school. In that backpack were things that the child could possibly prepare and just eat on their own, right? So this could be microwavable cups of Chef Boyardee. It could be individual cups of cereal, granola bars, those sorts of things. The backpacks were delivered on Friday, and then they brought the empty backpack back to school on Monday. Somebody went and picked them up, and during the week, volunteers here at church refilled them. So that ministry went on, like I said, for probably 3 years, maybe longer than that. And then something happened in March of 2020, and our school shut down, and suddenly these kids were not getting their weekly backpacks of food, which meant that these families were not getting food food distributions. And Sandy realized, this is a problem, this is a hole. So as a way to fill that, grocery bags of food that could feed the family were packed and were delivered to the schools. Many of you may be aware that schools were still doing a school lunch program throughout the shutdown, and then throughout the summer, that they were handing out lunches to students. So volunteers here, people were donating food, bags were being packed, and bags of food were being sent to the elementary school. And again, I think we were doing somewhere between 30 and 36 bags of food a week. When the school lunch program ended, that weekly distribution of food for those families moved here. So we had grocery bags of food here. People were coming to pick up those bags, and it slowly grew to be not families from just the school, but households in the community that if they felt a need. And through that process, we had this organic transformation from being a backpack ministry to growing into what we now have as the Stewartstown Food Pantry. So over the past months, we have gone, we've kind of exploded. And Doug, if you'll show us the next slide, I think the next slide has some statistics. I think I shared the statistics earlier this month, maybe the last week of April, just our numbers for April. But overall, we have had, since November, we started just taking names, kind of keeping track of how many people we serve. We've had 114 different households have visited the pantry since November. Since January, because November, December, we're just kind of, we were just starting with that paperwork. Since January, and this was as of last week, we had new people register yesterday, but we had 79 different households since January 1st. We do an average of 47 different households a month, averaging about, if you count the number of people in those households, that's feeding about 125, or providing food, I should say, providing a supplemental food to about 125 different individuals per month. They are not the same households each month. I have to point that out. They are not the same individuals each month. So there may be people that we see in February. In fact, I know yesterday, there was a woman who came yesterday. She hasn't been since January, but something's going on. She needs an extra boost right now. So she came, and we gave her some food. We average about 27 households a week that come for food. So this has grown from feeding, or I should say supplementing food for 30 children to where 30 children a week. So we're now doing 125 individuals a month. And we have a lot of senior citizens that come see us. We have a lot of adults who just all have different stories. We have families with children of all varieties of ages. A lot of the households that we serve have, adults and seniors living with them, or they have, children and seniors. We have the whole gamut of. There's a lot of variety in a household, so I should point that out. What my goal is this morning is this food pantry. Like I said, it is just, even though it's been going on for 4 years, this ministry has just kind of exploded in the last several months. And as a result, we are going through a lot of really exciting changes. A team has formed to kind of manage this process, manage this ministry, lead this ministry. The first thing that we did, or one of the first things we did, was put together to talk about, well, what is our goal here? What are we all about? So our next slide will give us a mission statement. And we worked together. We actually did a lot of looking at what other food pantries say their purpose is. We also did a deep dive we have been reading the book, Helping Without Hurting, the book that Pastor Keith is using this month for our sermon series. But through all of this, we've developed this mission. We are an outreach of this church, and that is first and foremost that we are an outreach ministry. And our mission is to love our neighbors by providing access to nutritious food to anyone experiencing food insecurity or financial hardship. Our intent is to treat each person with respect, dignity, and grace, provide opportunity to increase self-sufficiency, and instill hope. Our goal is for the food pantry to have a meaningful and enduring impact. A really important point of this is it's a food ministry. It's really not about the food, right? I have to tell you that. It's really not about the food. It is about that treating people with dignity. Sometimes we use the word clients. These people are not our clients, right? They are our neighbors who are just in need of something right now. And what most of them really need is just relationship. And they need a way out. And our goal is to help them find that. For every single individual that comes through here and gets food, or for every household, their circumstances are different. So what they need from us long term is different. But our goal is to start looking at each of these as individuals. Our goal is really about building relationships and just seeing how we can really be with these individuals. Our next slide. So kind of the soup and nuts. There are probably 5 aspects of this that all interweave, but that I just want to talk about how we do this, right, and what's going on. Our food source. If you have walked through this church in the last couple months, we have food tucked away everywhere. We have hams in the freezer. We have granola bars scattered around everywhere. There is juice piled up in Heritage Hall, right? There's boxes of carrots and apples and sweet potatoes and whatnot. Our food is sourced mostly from Central Pennsylvania Food Bank and the York County Food Bank. The reason for that is that working through those agencies gives us really good buying power. Sandy Petrovich takes care of ordering the food, and she tracks the inventory, and a lot of times they offer free foods, especially through the pandemic, and when she sees those free foods, she stocks up on them, and that's part of the reason why our space explodes at times. But then also sourcing through them helps us get not just, we can do a food drive and we can get macaroni and cheese and spaghetti and peanut butter, right? But sourcing through them also helps us get meat. It helps us get fresh produce. We also look at partnering with like area orchards. Shaw's is good to us in the summertime or during their seasons with helping us get fresh produce for people. We can provide dairy products. So our goal is not just giving them food, but giving them good food and sourcing that in the best way, the best economical way that we can. Using that word economics reminds me of something that I should have said earlier, so I'll get back to. The food, we've got a lot of food, but that leads us into a problem of space because like I said, if you've been in this church, you know that every nook and cranny is filled. So we've had a space problem that we've had to solve, and we think we're addressing it. We have an exciting thing happening the end of this month, or actually next week, that I have some pictures of in a minute, but space has been an issue. Volunteers, if you are here and you have helped with our food pantry in any way, would you raise your hand for me now? Yeah, if you look around, it takes an enormous number of volunteers, and I would just kind of put out a challenge to all of you. If you have never volunteered at our food pantry or for part of this food pantry, to make it a point to try to do so in the future. There are a variety of jobs to do. Our distribution happens right now on Saturday mornings, but it's way more than just Saturday mornings. So Sandy takes the inventory and she places a food order on Thursdays. The following Tuesday, a truck comes in and drops the pallet, and we have volunteers that have to come in and they unpack that food and they carry it up and down and all around, finding places to stash it in all the nooks and crannies, and that's a lot of work right there. We then have other volunteers that will come in later in the week and they pack boxes so that when the people come for food on Saturday morning, it can be done pretty efficiently, and we have packages that we can just hand to them. They package food that goes to every household. They package different bags that go to households that have more members and need extra food. Then on Saturday morning, we have teams that come in and pack refrigerated foods, frozen foods, produce, and then we have a distribution team that is in charge of handing that food out. And like I said, it's about handing out the food, but it's really also about relationships, because not only do we hand that food out, but we stand there and we talk to the people. So there is definitely a job for anybody, whether maybe you want to be behind the scenes and you want the job of just helping to unpack that food and the logistics of it, whether you want to be outside, standing next to me, talking to the people in the cars. There's a place for everybody, whatever you feel that your talents are. We can use you. We need some help behind the scenes in things like fundraising or just promotions and building relationships, not just with the people coming to the bank, but we need to build relationships within the community with other organizations and churches. So if you have a talent, we can put it to use, and you all have a talent, which means that we can put you all to use in this ministry someplace, and I would encourage you to reach out to Sandy or to reach out to myself to just give this a try. But if we can go to the next slide, just some pictures, our kitchen as it currently stands, and our refrigerators, and us distributing outside on carts. And I didn't mean to have the parking lot like that, but you can see that crevice, which is great for water flow. It's also, well, try to roll a cart over that to somebody's car. But so this is what we're doing now. And if we can have the next slide, we do have a plan for the future. And starting this coming Saturday, if everything goes well, our plan is across the road, right next to our overflow parking lot. The house over there has a 3-bay garage behind it, and that is where we're moving to. Some of you have already been there. Many of you have already been in there, because there has been a fantastic team of volunteers helping to get that space ready. It did not look like that picture on the bottom with the shiny floor and the beautiful white walls. That's not what it looked like the first time we walked into that garage. So there's just been a team over there working to paint and clean and redo some electric, and they're still working. They're building a deck that's going to take us, or a platform, so that we can roll our carts from the auxiliary lot up to the door of the pantry. We still have some glitches to work out, but our goal is that starting this coming Saturday, this is where we're going to be doing our distributions from. Along with changing our location, another thing we're looking to change is right now people come up and we give them food, right, that we have selected. This is what we have. Here's great food for you to have for the week. And goal is, we want people to be involved with this, and we want to be working with them. And our goal is to go to what's called a client-based pantry or a client choice pantry, where they come in and we partner them with a volunteer and go through and, they pick foods that they will use, right? Not everybody could use a bag of lentils every week. So, they pick the foods that they need. But the biggest thing that we have as a goal is we really want this ministry, like I said, it is not about food, but this is about building relationships and giving this more of a developmental. People come to us because they need relief initially, right? They need relief. They need that, I have this need that I need right now. But our goal is to help them find a way, like, how can they solve that problem? How can they get themselves to feel better and to get what they need on their own, to build that self-sufficiency. And that's what we're moving towards, finding ways to help them do that. That includes, this ministry kind of helps us meet people and build relationships with them, but we know that there are then other ministries that we can partner with to help develop the skills that people are looking for and the relationships they're looking for. I think I have another slide. Oh, yeah. So where does this take us? This is not a small ministry. It is not, it's not a little ministry that fits in a nice, neat box. It is expensive and it is time-consuming. And I know church members don't always like to hear that. What kind of a budget does this come with? I think conservatively, we're looking at like $1,000 a month to run this ministry. And I know that's a lot of money, but it's worth it, right? It is worth it because this is what we are supposed to be about. This is where we are going out and we are working in our community and we are building disciples. We are building relationships between us and our community members, and it's not an us and them, right? We're becoming one, and we are building our relationships, and we are doing the work that God has asked us to do here. So it is not a cheap ministry, but we get a lot of bang for that money every month. But we need financial support to get that, so that I do make a plea, first of all, for you to consider above and beyond your normal giving to the church, if there can be if you can consider a second level giving to our ministry, it would be greatly appreciated. Also helping us build relationships, like I said, with other organizations, other churches in the area, because this shouldn't be a standalone, right? We are a community to reach out and support this. And then the second thing, like I said, is we need volunteers. This is a volunteer-heavy program, and if we're going to build relationships, that's a one-on-one thing. As we move to our new space and as we move into a more of a client choice format, there's going to be a lot of different kinds of things for people to do. So if you're a person that likes to make phone calls, I bet we have a job for you. If you're a person that wants to be shoulder to shoulder with somebody, walking them through. If you're a person who, I see something on the other side that might be a ministry we can expand into. Whatever your thoughts or visions are, please reach out to either Sandy Petrovich or myself and join us, because this is the most fun I do every week, is Saturday morning at the food pantry. And I just challenge all of you to become part of it with us. I think I've talked way long enough, probably too long. So the last thing that I will say is, after service, if any of you have any questions, or just if you want to go over and see our new space, it's not completed, it's a work in process still, but come on over and see it with me, because I would love to show it off. And I think